I've been running my online business solo for over 8 years. No team, no office, and I used to pay for so many different tools to run my business. A content scheduler, a keyword research tool, a form builder, an email marketing platform, an online course platform, a project management app that I barely used. I don't want to go into the full list because it's not the point. The point is that I sat down one day and I added it all up. And it was over $1,000 a month in tools. And the most annoying part was that with all these tools, I was still spending hours every week doing things manually that none of those tools actually solved for me. That's when I realized the problem wasn't that I needed more tools. The problem was that I didn't have systems. And AI completely changed how I think about this. In this video, I want to show you 3 practical ways to use AI to build systems in your online business, not just answer questions, even if you are completely solo and have no technical background. So what do I mean when I say systems instead of tools? A tool is something that you open, you use it once, and close. A system is something that runs in the background and does the work for you repeatedly. For example, using ChatGPT to write one Pinterest description is using a tool, but having an AI tool that scans my entire website, finds existing images on every page, generates pins from those images, generates text overlay, pin titles and descriptions, all based on the page content, and then finds the most relevant boards on my profile and even schedules the pins for me, and does all of that every single day 20 times per day without me thinking about it. All I have to do is just click approve or reject the pins if I don't like something. That's a system. By the way, it's not just an example, it's a real AI platform that does all of that for my Pinterest marketing. So now that you understand what a system is, let me show you how to start building them. The first thing that I want you to do is write down everything that you do in a typical week. And I mean everything, not just the big things like I create content or I manage my Pinterest account. Go one level deeper. For example, instead of saying I create content, break it down. Like I research keywords for new blog posts, I write blog post outlines, then I write the full post, I create Pinterest images for the post, I write pin descriptions for those pins, I schedule the pins. So each one of those is a separate task. And when you look at it that way, you start seeing something very interesting. Some of those tasks require your brain, your experience, your judgment, and some of them are just repetitive work that follows the same pattern every single time. The tasks that follow the same pattern, those are the ones that you can turn into a system with AI. And when I did this exercise myself, one of the first things that I noticed was my content planning. Every week, I was keeping ideas in different places. Notes app, random Google Docs, sticky notes on my screen. I had no single place where I could see all of my ideas, what stage they're at, what keyword I was targeting, when I needed to publish them. It was a chaos. And there was no tool that I tried that actually solved this the way that I needed to be solved. So instead of spending another month trying different project management tools that were designed for software teams or sometimes marketing agencies, I just decided to build my own content idea manager. It's a custom app that I built on Emergent. This isn't a template or a spreadsheet. It's my own web app with a real database and filters that I built with AI in under 30 minutes. Emergent kindly sponsored this part of the video, and every project management that I tried was built for software teams, but with Emergent, I described exactly how my content business works, and it generated a custom app just for that. The front end, the back end, database, everything from one prompt. Here is roughly what I typed into Emergent, and then Emergent asked me a few questions to make sure that it's building exactly what I want. For example, I had to choose to build a tool with no login required because I'm building it for myself only. Then I deployed the app and we can check now what it built. You can see here that I can add a new content idea, I can assign it to a channel, YouTube, blog, or newsletter. I can add the target keyword, I can set the status to idea, draft, or published. I can set a deadline and I can filter by channel or by status. So I open this and I immediately see what YouTube ideas do I have in progress right now, what blog posts are ready to publish, and this is exactly the system that I kept trying to force other tools to do for years. And AI built it for me in half an hour. Then I asked Emergent to add a campaign view so that I can see every YouTube video, blog post, and email that belongs to a launch to a specific campaign in one place. Again, no templates, no dev, just another prompt. And because Emergent syncs everything to GitHub, I actually own this app. And if one day I wanted to hire a developer to expand it, they can pick up exactly where Emergent left off. If you're a creator or a small business owner and you've ever said something like, I wish I had a tool that did X, then open Emergent, literally describe your system the way that you would explain it to a friend, something like track content ideas, platforms, deadlines, and status in one screen, and let it build the first version. My link is in the description below. And let me know in the comments below, what are the apps, ideas, websites, tools that you've always wanted to build and couldn't? Now, the next system is one that saves me a huge amount of time every single week. And most creators don't think of it as something that AI can help with. It's responding to your audience. Comments on YouTube, emails from your list, DMs, questions that come up again and again from people in your community. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not saying use AI to pretend to be you. Your audience can tell, and it feels wrong. What I'm saying is use AI to help you respond faster and better. For example, I keep a document with the most common questions that I get from my audience. Things like, how many times per day should I post on a new Pinterest account? Or what tools do you use for your blog? Or how do I make money with affiliate marketing as a beginner? I gave this document to AI along with examples of how I typically answer these questions, my tone, my style, my typical length. And now, when someone asks me one of these questions, I can get a first draft response in about 10 seconds. I can just edit it a little bit, I can make it personal, and I send it. This also works for email. If you have an email list and you get replies from your subscribers, then AI can help you draft responses that sound like you, as long as you give it enough examples of your writing first. The system here is simple. You collect your most common questions in one single document. You can add 5 to 10 examples of how you like to answer them, give both to AI when you need to respond, and edit the draft and send it. This alone saves me probably 3 to 4 hours every week. And the next system is the one that changed how fast I can go from a content idea to a fully published SEO-optimized piece of content. Because having ideas is not the problem. Most of us have more ideas than we have time to execute. The bottleneck is everything that happens between the idea and the published post or a published video. So let me show you how I broke this down into a system. It starts with research. When I want to create content on a new topic, I used to spend an hour or two just on the research phase. Opening Pinterest, searching keywords, checking competitor blogs, taking notes in a random Google Doc, trying to piece it all together. Now I use AI as the starting point. For example, I might say, I want to write a blog post about AI tools for small business owners. What are the most common questions that people have about this? What are the gaps that most articles don't cover well? This will give me a solid starting point in just 2 minutes. And then I will go to my keyword research tools, something like PinClicks if it's for Pinterest, or Keyword Surfer in Chrome for my blog, to validate what AI suggested and to find the actual search volumes for these keywords. Then I'll come back to AI with that keyword data and say, here are the keywords that people are actually searching for. Now help me build an outline that covers these questions better than what is already ranking. The combination of AI for the broad overview and real keyword data for the validation is much more powerful than using either one alone. But research is just step one. The part that used to take the longest for me was the actual writing. So getting the tone right, adding the right SEO structure, making it sound like me and not like a generic AI post. And this is where I recently discovered something that completely changed my writing workflow. It's called Claude Skills. I made a full video about this and I'll link it for you up there, but let me give you a quick idea of what it does. A Claude skill is basically a specialized set of instructions that you package once and upload to Claude. It includes your tone of voice document, your sitemap, so Claude knows which pages to link to internally on your site, and an experience document with your real results and examples. So once you set it up, every time you need to write a blog post, you just call that skill. And Claude asks you just a few questions, something like your target keyword for this particular blog post, the angle, the length, and then it writes a full SEO-optimized post that actually sounds like you. It uses real sources, real internal links, and your real personal examples already baked in. The difference between this and just using a regular Claude prompt is that you set it up once and it works the same way every single time. You don't have to re-explain your tone or paste your sitemap every conversation. It's a real system, not a one-time prompt. So if you want to build this for your own blog, go watch the video that I linked for you up there. I'll show you the full setup step by step. Again, don't forget that for anything that you want to automate in your business, you can simply talk to Emergent, and it will build an agent that will do that work for you. The link to Emergent is in the description below. And now tell me in the comments, which of these 3 systems are you going to try first in your business? I read every comment and I would love to know. And if you want to learn how to be so productive it feels illegal, I have a video about the system that actually works for me. I'll link the video up there and I'll see you in that next one.